remember how I said I wasn't going to buy any more books and just borrow everything from the library? Hey, it's Sabrina from Renewing Words, and let's talk about that. Today I was feeling really anxious, and I went to a place that I felt usually a mysterious sense of peace at, which is the bookstore. And there's just something about the bookstore that is so peaceful to me, I can't really explain it. And I was still anxious, sort of, when I went to the bookstore. And it was not until I saw some books that I wanted to buy that I started feeling this peace of being like, hey, I want this book, I want this book, and I want this book. And so I picked them up and was like, oh my goodness, I deserve this. And these are bringing me a lot of joy, and I need it. And at the same time, I knew that I wanted to stay away from temptation. So as I was in the bookstore, I thought to myself, okay, how do I feel about my collection of books at home? Would I feel comforted by them? No, I've been feeling anxious once they get in my home, because my life at home, I don't allow myself that much time to read. But at the bookstore, it's like there's this immense sense of how this is the reading life. We'll have all the time in the world to read, but once you're at home, there's so many distractions, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just spent a lot of money on books that I don't even have time to read every day. So what does this mean for me? I think this basically means for me that I have to remember myself of the bookshop mentality when I am at home. When I sit down with a book, I know that my reading is worthwhile, and that this is what I am meant to use to find a sense of comfort in the world, Lord willing, of course. I'm aware that Christian teachings have taught me, do not over rely on something, a worldly thing, to comfort you. But at the same time, none of us are meant to do nothing with our lives. We're all meant to do something. We're meant to create. We're meant to receive and to contribute. So I'm talking to you, I'm trying to contribute my thoughts a little bit, just to I hope that you can connect, and if you don't, I don't care, because there must be someone you can connect with on the internet, and that might not be me, but I know that I have a voice here, and so I'm going to use it. So everybody has different things that they like, and I think us as Christians are called to use that avenue to bring hope and light into the world. And some people, I think like myself, just love words and books and poetry, and some people, they like sports and they spend a lot of time playing sports. So I just gotta remember that to each their own in worldly things. Maybe if I forced myself to find comfort in sports like some people do, then maybe that would not be Lord honoring, because like I'm just running away from like the things that I gravitate towards. Of course there are things that are sinful to gravitate towards, that are immoral, that make us worse people, like, but yeah, like when you read the Bible and you receive those moral teachings, you're like, there are good and healthy ways to find a measure of peace so that you can be a better person. And of course, like, reading is a great hobby. Like, Christians are encouraged to read the Bible. And the Bible is some people's only reading. Some people only read the Bible and then they do go about their everyday lives and they don't read at all. But other people just are tapped into the literature of the world, and I think that although I do love to read all genres of books, I'm like, like, should I be reading the Bible instead of reading those books? Well, I guess you gotta, as a Christian, sort of be tapped into the world so that you can help to interpret the world from a biblical lens. So we aren't vacuums. People are not meant to be spending all day like reading the Bible and praying and nothing else, because that's if you lived in a vacuum. But we're supposed to go out in the world and make the world a better place. So of course I read the Bible and dedicate time to that, but also just feel like there are things of this world that can be made beautiful with the right people, like the right people with the right lens to view those things in a way that brings light to that activity, to that hobby, and to bring light to other people with that kind of inclination, but they're being steered by the evil to go the wrong way. So this is just me, honestly, convincing myself that I should try to engage with the world more and not stay in my head, and just as long as I'm engaging with worldly materials in the right way, because of course we all have bodies and stuff. We're kind of in the flesh. It's kind of odd, but that's the way it is. Sometimes I wish I was a ghost, but I'm not a ghost, so I gotta stick in reality. And definitely when I'm anxious, it's very difficult to be grounded in reality. So I'm still practicing very much to be grounded in reality when it comes to I don't know, a balance, okay? So we gotta look at the facts of reality to be able to apply biblical principles to reality, apply good morality and good attitudes of discernment, mercy, forgiveness, the things that we see in those Bible stories. And that is maybe sort of like a fantasy to us because we didn't live through the Bible. Like, I'm sure these things did happen, and I guess it doesn't matter whether you believe those things happened, but those things yielded good results, like good morality, good principles yielded good results back then in those stories. So we're trying to transfer it to right now. Of course, things are different and the same in various ways. So that's what I'm trying to do with my world right now, and turning my thoughts into a little video. Even though it's not a physical object, it's also physical because you can see me and I'm not a ghost. I can just move around and dance. Yeah. I'm just praying for anyone right now who's also dealing with intrusive thoughts and anxiety, because that's what I've been dealing with lately. But I know that I can intercede. I can be able to speak for people who are struggling with those things because I've been through it. So that's gonna be a beautiful thing, and I'm feeling just really called to do that. And even though things aren't perfect right now, just having faith that I can do a little bit of something, yeah, and like not let my ego get in the way, because my ego hurts me a lot. So I think I'm going to end here. Was there anything I wanted to wrap up with? I think not really. Just it all comes down to the proper usage of our gifts that God gave us to be able to survive this world. And I feel very sad each time somebody passes prematurely, and we're all questioning why, even though sometimes we can't break down. We're all like, why didn't this person survive if God is faithful? Well, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll live as long as I can. I have no idea what will happen tomorrow, but we all got to stick together and have faith for each other, because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And we got to trust that somebody will be there for us, because if something crashes and burns and nobody is there for us, then we might crash and burn. Wow, that's grim. But until next time, I'll remind ourselves of the mission of this channel is to renew every day, renew our words and attitudes. And sometimes, I mean all the time, I feel like I'm reminding myself more than you guys, because I don't know who's watching. Until next time, bye. Hey you, subscribe if you want to join me in my beast mindset. My beast stands for make your world beautiful, eternally, all people seeking truth. I had a really hard day today, filled with repetitive, intrusive thoughts. And I felt like my unique beast was coming to attack me and nobody understood me. But the Lord redeemed it for me and gave me this acronym. So until next time, my beast.
I will trust you everywhere you lead me. I will trust you in the storm because I know you're in control. I will trust you when things don't go